Hey everyone, Joe Ramsey here. Excited to unpack a resource that I found for this week's discussion thread, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so you all can view it as well. So this is a journal article published in the Journal of Agricultural Education, and I believe it was published in around 2003. And it was written by Neil Knobloch, who's an assistant professor at the University of Illinois, and it's called Is Experiential Learning Authentic? And within the course this week, we talked a little bit about the philosophy of agricultural education and the Smith-Hughes Act and how those core values are being lived out today in 2022, over 100 years after that Smith-Hughes Act was passed. And one of the things that that article really spotlighted for me in class this week is the value of experiential learning and supervised agricultural experiences in students. And although some agricultural education programs today are not implementing SAE as much or as frequently as schools at the beginning of agricultural education, I know for me personally, within my program, I require every student to complete an SAE program, and it accounts for 15% of the overall course grade because I find value in experiential learning opportunities within my classroom. And although I recognize experiential learning can take the form of labs and projects and experiments within the class that relate to the content area as well, I do think that SAEs, while they look a little bit different today than they did in 1917, are still an important part of agricultural education. And this article here kind of unpacks what we're doing as agricultural education teachers and if what we're doing is truly experiential. So Knobloch basically goes through and analyzes three different criteria to the construction of knowledge, discipline, inquiry, and the value beyond school. So these are the different criteria he uses to evaluate experiential learning. And he looks at it from the lens of four different tenets, if you will. So learning in real life context, learning by doing, learning through projects, and learning by solving problems or scenarios. So there are four famous philosophers that he utilizes to kind of guide his qualitative study, and those were John Dewey, who we've learned a lot about in this class, Stephen A. Knapp, Rufus W. Stimson, and finally William H. Lancelot. Now, the article kind of looks at the those tenets and the philosophical standpoints of these different philosophers within experiential learning and analyzes what we're doing as agricultural education teachers and if it is truly experiential. And in conclusion, basically, they were looking at the value of what we're doing and how different scenarios and different activities that we're doing in our classrooms do, in fact, promote authentic experiential learning that relates to the context of what we're doing within our programs. Now, I know for me personally, I shared earlier in the video that I do SAE programs and I infuse a lot of labs and experiments and projects within my curriculum. But at the end of the article, Knobloch leaves readers with the message of that we as CTE teachers and agricultural education teachers, and even those at the post-secondary level also have the ability to empower learners and inspire learners to be active in experiential learning through facilitating those opportunities, no matter what that may look like within our programs or educational opportunities. So I hope that all of you enjoy reading this resource. I know I personally did, and I look forward to watching all of your resource videos this week. So take care, and I'll see you next week.